Earlier this week, Steve had the opportunity to connect with Senator Mark Warren to hear his thoughts on TikTok, U.S. tech guardrails, and cybersecurity. Here's more of that conversation.
What I just want to say about this real quick, I asked Senator Warner, if you know Congress is out of session right now, although we have one member of Congress flying in from Massachusetts today for a later session, but Mark is in Southwest Virginia, where like video and audio, maybe a little bit of sketchy. So last night I had a conversation with him about what he's trying to do to TikTok. So this is the conversation. Play it.
Senator Warner, thank you for taking some time out of your tough schedule today to talk to those of us at the Semafor World Economy Summit. What I'm hoping you might share a few minutes with us is telling us why your work in the Restrict Act is so important. What are the fears you have about American vulnerabilities today? Why is this important?
Well, Steve, first of all, thank you for having me. And this legislation builds on something I've been working on for years, which is redefining national security in 2023 as more than simply who has the most tanks, guns, ships, and planes, but really who controls and wins the battle for technology domination. And over the last 7 to 8 years, we have seen technology from some of the adversarial nations we face, like China and Russia. And particularly when I mention China, let me be clear, my beef is with the Communist Party of China, Xi Jinping's leadership, not the Chinese people or the Chinese diaspora. But we have seen national security vulnerabilities pop up with these foreign technologies. A few years back, it was Kaspersky, the Russian software company. More recently, under President Trump, there were concerns about Huawei, the Chinese wireless company, and ZTE. More recently, it's been about TikTok. And what we've lacked is a comprehensive, rules-based approach that would put the burden on the government to prove that a foreign technology from China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, Cuba, or Venezuela, put the burden on the government to prove that this foreign technology poses a grave national security risk. And having a rules-based approach that would give TikTok or any other entity its day in court, we thought was a better approach than the ad hoc basis of kind of whack-a-mole where you go after Huawei today and ZTE tomorrow and who knows what next coming up. And let me say at the front end, the issues I'm focused on are national security. I still think there are huge concerns across a number of social media platforms that need to be addressed that are American platforms. I think it's embarrassing that we don't have a national privacy law. I think we need a kids online safety bill. I think we need reform of Section 230. And I've got legislation as well that would deal with things like data portability and interoperability. Those issues still need to be pursued, but what we're trying to do on Restrict is have this rules-based approach that would take on national security concerns and, again, put the burden on the government. And I think, and I'd be happy to go through why I think TikTok falls into that category.
Well, I'd be interested in that, but I also want to just ask you: are we good at this kind of thing? You're a businessman. You're pro-business. You're moderate Democrats. You're also a globalist. Does a kind of combination of protecting the United States when it comes to these big transnational technologies, does that help us? Because history kind of shows that protection helped the other folks and harmed American industry. But tell me why I'm wrong on that.
Well, I do think we need to be careful with some of the legislative approaches that names TikTok specifically. If you do a company-specific or application-specific law, I think it has two challenges. One, it may not stand up in court. As a matter of fact, the effort that President Trump had to originally ban TikTok with an executive order did not stand up in court. And two, I do think, in talking to American business, they don't want to have a legal framework where a specific company is named in a law because that would invite retaliation. What we do is rules-based approach. Secretary of Commerce has to make the case. The intelligence community has to declassify information as much as possible to help make the case. And having a rules-based approach, I think, makes more sense. And I would quickly add, Steve, this is not just a phenomena in terms of TikTok, for example, where it is America only acting. Canada has already acted on its own. The Brits have acted on their own. The EU has acted on their own on government phones. The British recently have the BBC management has told all British journalists they ought to get off of TikTok because the Chinese could be monitoring them. Australia in the last week has taken TikTok off their government phones. They've all reached the same conclusion. And India, obviously a great technology power in its own, completely banned the application 3 years ago. So this is an area that it's not simply America alone. It is rules-based, and I do think it is something that the case can be made that this poses a national security risk.
Let me ask you, Senator, why? I mean, I know you have been working on this for years, but you've been out there alone for a long time. Why are people waking up to this now? Why has America gotten its act together when there are 113 million TikTok users out there, to name one data point, but broadly across the technology sphere, it looks as if we haven't been worried about penetration and disruption of American industry for a long time?
Well, Steve, I think we have been unsuccessful in Congress to take on social media, put any guardrails on. The fact that we've seen foreign manipulation on things like Facebook dating back to the 2016 election, and we've done nothing, should concern us. The fact that I think more and more people, though, do understand that the race for who is going to dominate artificial intelligence, who's going to dominate quantum computing, who's going to dominate synthetic biology, advanced energy. I do think there is a growing recognition that ceding the field to our adversaries is not in the national security interest of America. I mean, we think about the power of ChatGPT. If China and a Chinese Communist Party entity was able to run the table on that, that I think gets people's attention that that's a national security risk. And when I continue to mention the Chinese influence, it is because China itself changed their law in 2017. The Communist Party made explicitly clear that any Chinese company at the end of the day was not loyal to its shareholders or customers, but had to be loyal to the Communist Party. So consequently, when you've got 113 million, one data point, some people have said 150 million Americans on TikTok, an average of about 90 minutes a day, there are two, I believe, serious national security threats. One is the ability for the Communist Party to collect that data that is being collected on all these Americans in their course of using TikTok. And people may say, well, why is that a problem? Well, if part of the secret sauce of TikTok is learning what you like, potentially even more than you know what you like, and feeding you videos that feed that. Well, if what you like could somehow become a fact that could then be used to blackmail you or otherwise influence you, I believe that poses a risk. And one of the reasons why, again, the United States government on the military basis banned TikTok a couple of years ago. The other item is the question of the ability to promote propaganda. You don't choose the videos you see. I very much believe there is a high probability or possibility that the CCP could say, well, we want to start putting videos out that show that Putin is right about his views on Ukraine, or that President Xi is right in terms of his views that Taiwan needs to be part of China forever. That, I believe, is also a national security risk. And let me quickly acknowledge, Steve, a lot of creative things on TikTok. And there are a whole host of people, and I've heard from many of them, who are social influencers who now make their living off of TikTok. I believe in the market that if TikTok was in some way constrained or even banned, that the market would create an alternative and people could still have the creativity, still make their living off a different platform. It doesn't even have to be an American company. It should just not be a company that at the end of the day is controlled or potentially controlled by the Communist Party of China.
So Mark Warner is not against making fun videos in the future.
Matter of fact, Mark Warner is all for letting people be as creative as they want. And what has been fascinating to see is, we've got a piece of legislation now that's got 26 co-sponsors, 13 Democrats, 13 Republicans, from all across the ideological spectrum. We've got support of the administration. We have all these other nation states who are taking action as well because they've reached the same conclusion. It is fascinating, though, to see. I think TikTok has got half the lobbyists in Washington on their payroll. TikTok has been sponsoring lots of various publications. somebody said they saw TV the other night, saw 3 TikTok ads. So I don't underestimate their ability to kind of fight this and frankly put out misinformation.
Hmm. Well, listen, Senator
That would
Warner.
ever, let me just
Yep.
let me just add quickly one thing. Nothing in this bill, it's very important because this is part of the misinformation. Nothing in this bill would ever go after any individual. If somebody wanted to go around, if TikTok was banned and get on a VPN and still use TikTok, no individual would ever be sanctioned. And if there's a way to make that clear, there's no expansion of government power. But I do think if we can't put some guardrails on an application that has this much potential power, when ultimately, as even Mr. Show, the CEO of TikTok, had to acknowledge, the CCP can call on ByteDance, which owns TikTok, at any time to turn over data or manipulate information. That ought to concern us.
Well, listen, Senator Mark Warner, we really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule and talking to us about this legislation that you put forward. Thanks so much. We're going to discuss it a lot today at our summit. So thank you very much.